Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we will look at how to cut and sew this beautiful gathered gown with long sleeve. Please do well to watch the video to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. So I'll need 3 yards of crepe for this project. I'll need my measuring tape, my scissors, the chalk, and also pins. So I'll go ahead. So first off, I'll remove the gathered part from this. So what I am using for the gathered effect, I am using my waist circumference divided by or multiplied by 2.5. The waist I am using for this project is 34. So I'll measure 34 inches twice, then half of 34, 17 inches. So I'll measure 34 inches twice, also measure 17 inches. If you want more full gathered effect, you can use your waist circumference times 3. So you can multiply by 3 if you have enough fabric for the gathered effect. Also, the length I'll use is to deduct my half length from the full length. I am using the full length of 58 inches, the half length of 16 inches. So when I have deducted the half length, whatsoever I have left will be 43 inches. So I'll be removing, so I'll have 43 inches left, and I am going to add my sewing allowance to join the waist together and also to hem the lower part of the gown. So when I am done with those measurements, I am going to remove the gathered part from the fabric. So for the upper part, here is what I have. I have folded the remaining fabric. I'll fold this into 2. We'll cut out the front upper part first before we use it to cut the back part. So I am drawing out my starting point. On that starting point, I'll measure my shoulder divided by 2, which is 8 inches, and I'll go ahead to add 0.5 inch for joining of the sleeve. Then from that starting point, I'll come down by 9 inches for my chest line, and I'll do 12 inches for the bust point. So here, because I am drafting directly on the fabric, so I'll add 0.5. I'll add 0.5 to my vertical measurement, so I'll be able to have the allowance to join on the shoulder and also to join the lower part of the half length to the gathered effect. So whatsoever I have here, I'm going to also measure the same thing on the side, so I will have straight line. So I'm going to connect the chest line, the bust point, and also the waistline, which is the half length. On the shoulder part, I have 8.5 inches there. I'll do the same thing on the chest line to have a straight line. I'm working with the neck width of 3.5 inch and shoulder slope of 1 inch. So I'll connect the shoulder slope to the width of my neckline. Then I'll also input my back measurements for the neckline and also the front measurement of the neckline. For the back, I'll be using 2 inches depth for the neckline, and for the front, I'll use 4.5 inches depth for the front neckline. So I am connecting this neckline into round neck here. So when I was done with that, I'm going to input my bust circumference divided by 4 plus 1.5 inches sewing allowance on the chest line. After that, I'll carve out the back armhole. I am carving out the back armhole first, and for the front armhole, I am going to divide the chest line into 2. Then on the midpoint, whatsoever I have on the midpoint, I'll come in by 0.5 inch. So I can remove that bulge effect on the armhole of the front. So here we have the back armhole and also the front armhole, just like we have the back and the front neckline together. So whatsoever I have on the chest line, I'm going to input the same measurement on the bust line. Also, I'll take the measurement of my waist divided by 4, and I'll also add 1.5 inch allowance. This gown does not have that. You can include that if you want yours to have that, but this one does not have that. So when I am done with that, I am cutting out the back neckline first, the shoulder slope. I'll cut the down part and also the side. Then I am removing the back armhole first. So we still have the neckline for the front and also for the back on that piece. We will cut that out later. So on my fabric again, I'll fold this into 2, and I am going to place this front part that we cut earlier. I'll place it on this back part. So I am including 1 inch for zipper allowance. So I'll measure this 1 inch from the top of the fabric to the down part. So when I have confirmed of having 1 inch for the zipper allowance, I'll go ahead to trace out the same thing we cut out on the front piece, which is the back neckline, the shoulder slope, the armhole for the back. And on this down part, because our front and back half length are not always the same, it is not equal. So I'll go up by 1 inch on this center back. So from the hem, I'll go up by 1 inch. Then I'll mark the side. I'll indicate the side of this front so that when I take this front part out, I'll be able to cut the back out perfectly. So I am still tracing out the back piece from this front, the one we cut out earlier. So after tracing this out, then I'll work on the back piece. So I'll remove this front piece out from the back piece. Then on this center back, the hem of the center back, where I go by 1 inch, I'm going to connect it to the side, because the side of front and back must be equal. So it is only the lower part of the back piece, that is the half length for the back, that is when we don't need it to be as long as the front piece, because the long and back is not equal. We don't have bust at the back. So I'm going to slant that and I'll cut out the back. Then also I'll remove the zipper bulge on the back part. So I'll go in by 0.5 inch, then I'll slant it to the chest line and cut this out. So we are done with the cutting of the upper part of the front and the back. So I'm removing the bulge from the armhole of the front, then also cutting out the neckline. So this is what we have for the front and the back. So I'll place the front part, the right part of the front and the right part of the back to face each other. So the right part of the front and back will face each other. So I'll match the shoulder together. You can join this by 0.5. You can do this if you are going to use bias to pipe the neckline. So if you don't want to use bias, you can use facing when you are done cutting this. So if you are using bias, you can just sew the shoulder together using 0.5 inch. So I'll go ahead to sew the side with the allowance that I left for each of the side, which is 1.5 inch. So when I'm done doing this, I will measure out what I will need to cut out the sleeve. So here I have marked the allowance I'll use to stitch the both sides together, and also measure out what I will need to cut out the sleeve part. So I have the measurement for my sleeve here, and I am going to use it to cut out the sleeve. So I am folding this piece of fabric into two, and I'll check if it is enough for my sleeve measurements. So I have this folded into two here, and I'll go ahead to come down on the open part. I'll come down by about 4 inches. You can do 4 inch to 4.5 inch on the open part, so you can have a cap height there. After coming down by about 4 inches here, so I'm going to connect it. I'll slant it straight to the upper part of the folded part of this fabric. So I'll measure what I have here. After measuring this, I'll get the midpoints. So after getting my midpoint, I'll go up by 0.5 inch on this midpoint, so I can connect it to the top part of this sleeve. Then on the lower part there, I'll go down by 0.5 inch. I'll go down by 0.5 inch, so I'll connect that 0.5 inch to the midpoint and also to the tip of the folded part of my sleeve. So here is what we have for the sleeve. And also, because this sleeve is not fitted, so I'll just connect this. I'll mark this sleeve having about 1 to 2 inches extra allowance, so it will be free. So then I'm going to connect this straight to the hem line. You can slant it a bit so that the hem will not be too big when you add elastic, except you want that fullness effect on the end part of your sleeve. So when I am done connecting this together, I'm going to cut out the sleeve. So don't forget to notch the top part of the sleeve, so it will be easier when you are going to join it to the shoulder. So here I use facing to turn the neckline to. So after I am done with the facing, then I join the shoulder together. So here is what I have. I also join the zipper part of the back together. So on this zipper part, I iron some ST on the back, so when I am adding zipper to the back, it will not bulge, because this fabric is a bit stretchy. So this is what I have. So after that, I'll join the side together. So I'll join this side together. I'll do the same thing to the other part of this side. After joining the side together, I'll come out with the piece for the gather. So I'm going to run stitch on this. After running these stitches straight down, I am going to gather this together. So I am separating the thread, so I'm using one to drag it. So after dragging this, I'll gather it to the size of the waist of the upper part, so it can be equal. So this is what I have when I was done with the gathers. So here is the gather, and I'll join the two edges together so I can fold it and get the center front. So here is the center front. So I'll place a notch on the center front, so I will have equal distribution on the waist part. So after placing a notch on this gather part, I'll also open the zipper part of the upper part, the half length. Then I'll also notch the center front of the half length. So when I was done notching this, I'll place the two notches together, the notches on the half length and the notches and the notch on the half length and the notch on the gathered part. So when you place this together, you can pin it round. So I have this notch on the center front, so I'll place the two notches together. So you can pin this round so that when you are sewing, it doesn't move. So I've placed the notch of the upper part to the lower part. Then I'll pin this down. So when I'm done pinning this, I'll sew it from the center front to the back side of the zipper part. I'll sew it on this side as well. So when I was done sewing it, this is what I have. This is what I have. This is the back. The lower part is still opened, and this is the front part of the gathered. So this gathered is not that full. If you want it more fuller than this, you can use 3 yards. That is times 3 of your waist. You multiply your waist by 3. So I am going to stitch down the back part using the same 1 inch for the zipper allowance that I use for the upper part. So on this sleeve part, I'll fold the hem of the sleeve twice using 0.5 inch for this. So when I'm done folding this, I'll stitch it down. So this casing will be for our elastic, so the elastic can pass through it. When I'm done fixing this, I'll attach the sleeve to the bodies, and here is what we have when I was done attaching the sleeve and the elastic. Thank you for staying tuned to watch to the end. Please do well to subscribe to this channel so the channel can grow, so we can bring more tutorials on the channel. Please comment, like, and also share to those that need to watch this video. Thank you for supporting the channel. See you on the next one. Bye.